There's a single special item. Just place it in the right spot in your living room, and money will seem to be drawn to it, as if pulled by an invisible magnet. The more you use and enjoy your home, the more abundance will flow to you. It may sound incredible, but this is a secret many East Asian business people have quietly practiced for centuries. Hello, I am Myles Munroe, a Feng Shui expert with over 30 years of experience researching and applying traditional Feng Shui principles to modern life. In classical Feng Shui, there's a principle passed down quietly for hundreds of years. Wealth never arrives by accident. It naturally flows towards spaces that know how to open the door to energy, preserve it, and attract abundance. And the very first area that must be arranged properly is the living room. Today I'm going to reveal a simple item that carries incredibly strong accumulating energy. When placed in the perfect spot in your living room, it acts like an invisible vault, helping the homeowner safeguard wealth while activating prosperity for everyone in the household. But that's not all. I'll also guide you on arranging your living room to enhance financial energy, from using plants, lighting, and artwork, to small taboos that may seem harmless but quietly push money away without you even noticing. By the end of this video, I'll share a little known Feng Shui tip that has helped countless people transform their luck, starting from just one small corner of their home. Can you guess what that item is? Leave a comment below with a positive affirmation like, "I am ready to welcome wealth into my home every day," or type this in the comments and claim it for yourself. Abundance and wealth are flowing into my home every day. When you align your thoughts with the right energy, prosperity naturally finds its way to the right person. And don't forget to hit subscribe to the Inspired by Myles Munroe channel, so you never miss a video that helps you balance energy, protect your wealth, and live a more harmonious life every day. But before we dive into the details of this wealth attracting Feng Shui item, there's something even more important to address: clearing harmful elements from your living room. If blockages aren't removed first, no matter how powerful the item is, wealth will struggle to stay. Number 1. Sofa with its back facing the door in Feng Shui. The living room is considered the first point where your home interacts with the outside world. All energy, simply put, enters through the main door, flows into the living room, and then spreads throughout the rest of the home. According to core Feng Shui principles, the sofa should be the first piece to receive this energy, symbolizing that the homeowner is ready to welcome the positive forces of life. However, many families, either for convenience or following interior design trends, place the sofa with its back facing the door. Sitting in this position often feels subtly uncomfortable, even if you can't pinpoint why. There's usually a sense of being startled when someone enters, a lack of safety, or a feeling of losing control. This is a clear sign of turning your back on incoming energy. From a Feng Shui perspective, this arrangement makes it harder for the homeowner to receive opportunities. It increases the chance of missing unexpected luck and encourages defensiveness and anxiety in both career and emotional well-being. Think of it like going into a job interview, but turning your chair away from the interviewer. No matter how impressive your resume, you're still turning your back on the opportunity. Number 2. Clocks that don't work. Clocks have become almost essential in living rooms, not just to tell time, but also as decorative pieces reflecting the homeowner's taste. Yet, because they are so common, many forget their symbolic meaning. In Feng Shui, a clock doesn't just keep time. It represents the smooth flow of life, work, and destiny. A running clock symbolizes continuous movement, while a stopped clock represents stagnation. Some homes display beautiful wall clocks that haven't moved in years, and no one bothers to fix them. Every time someone glances at it, the hands are frozen, stuck at 11:17, as if suspended between two moments. At best, this creates stagnation. At worst, it keeps people mentally trapped in the past, making it difficult to step into a new chapter. Even clocks designed with eerie shapes, haunting colors, or rusted metal might suit a post-apocalyptic cafe, but in the living room, where life energy should flow clearly, they disrupt energy and weaken the environment. Imagine walking into a room and seeing a tilted, stopped clock that looks straight out of a horror movie. Instantly, your mindset feels blocked, and the sense of flow disappears. Here's a simple tip: if you hang a clock, ensure it works properly. If it's no longer used, remove it. Choose a clear, harmonious design with colors that complement the room. Ideally, place it on a side wall, not directly facing the main door or above where people sit. Number 3. Damaged walls, cracks, and unpatched nail holes in Feng Shui. Cracks and damaged walls are seen as leaks of energy. Positive energy may enter, but it can escape through these openings, like water seeping through a small hole in a dam. What starts as a minor leak, if ignored, gradually drains your wealth and stability. Even psychologically, you'll notice it immediately. Being in a room with large cracks or peeling paint creates a feeling of heaviness and discomfort. Subconsciously, people feel less protected, as if something is incomplete, and this affects the spirit, even if you're not consciously aware of it. Many try to cover cracks with paintings, but Feng Shui doesn't encourage masking a problem. It values solving issues at their root. Even a small nail hole left from a removed picture should be patched and painted promptly. This simple act shows respect for your home and its energy. I once consulted for a family who felt like money came in and left just as fast, even though their income was stable. When I visited, I discovered a corner of their living room had minor water damage, with peeling paint that had been ignored for almost 3 years. The family never thought it was a major issue. But just a few weeks after repairing the wall, repainting and adjusting the lighting in that corner, they reported a noticeable sense of relief. Even their spending patterns began returning to a healthier, more balanced flow. Number 4. Mirrors in the living room in Feng Shui. Mirrors are considered yin objects. They absorb, reflect, and redirect energy. While this may sound intriguing, it's exactly why mirrors are a double-edged sword, especially in the living room. Many people use large mirrors as decorative elements to make a space feel bigger or more elegant. However, Feng Shui evaluates objects not just by function, but also by the energy they bring. Mirrors, no matter how beautiful, are inherently unstable in terms of energy. They can absorb both light and energy entering a space. In the living room, where positive yang energy should be gathered to nourish the entire home, a poorly placed mirror acts like a reverse vacuum. Energy enters and is immediately reflected or pulled back out. Even wealth that arrives may pass through the front door only to leave through the mirror. This is especially true for large mirrors placed directly opposite the main entrance, balcony door, or central seating area. They can create feelings of instability and disorientation. Homeowners may struggle to focus, make decisions, or find themselves unusually fatigued for no clear reason. I've seen families follow an architect's advice to use mirrors to expand a space, without considering what the mirror reflects. If it reflects a bathroom, staircase, or kitchen, it doesn't enhance energy. It amplifies negative sources instead. The solution is simple. Limit mirror use in the living room. If you must have one, choose a small decorative mirror that does not reflect the main door or central activity area. Use it as a supporting element rather than the centerpiece. Ideally, let it reflect natural light, greenery, or a beautiful painting to amplify positive energy. Mirrors aren't inherently bad, but in the wrong place, they can backfire. Like fire in the kitchen, which cooks food, a misplaced mirror can burn down the balance of energy in your home. Number 5. Photos of deceased loved ones. Every family has loved ones who have passed, people we deeply respect and cherish. Displaying their photos is natural and a beautiful cultural tradition. However, where you place these photos matters greatly. Hanging or displaying photos of deceased family members in central or highly visible spots in the living room can unintentionally mix yin and yang energy in your main space. This doesn't mean you're inviting spirits or being superstitious. It simply reduces the lightness, vitality, and dynamic energy that a living room should maintain. I once visited a home where the family had placed a photo of their great-grandparents right next to the television cabinet, the spot where everyone gathered each night. No one noticed anything unusual, but at the same time, no one felt completely at ease. there was always a subtle heaviness in the atmosphere. Only after the photo was respectfully moved to the family altar room did the space feel noticeably lighter and freer, even though nothing else in the room was changed. So, what's the advice here? If you wish to keep photos of deceased loved ones, place them in a quiet, solemn area intended for remembrance and spiritual connection. This could be a home altar, a small corner toward the back of the house, or a low-traffic space. This way, you honor their memory while preserving the clean, uplifting energy of your living room. Number 6. Arguments in the living room. There's something most people don't realize. Every time we argue, get angry, or hurt each other in the living room, that energy doesn't just vanish. It lingers as a kind of vibrational residue, gradually contaminating the home's overall energy field. It's like walking into a room where a conflict recently occurred. You may not know what happened, but you can feel the tension in the air. If this happens repeatedly, the living room can shift from being a space for connection to a place that stores emotional toxicity. Some families have the habit of putting everything on the living room table to talk things out. On the surface, this may seem open and honest, but if emotions aren't properly managed, the living room, intended as a source of life and energy, becomes a battlefield. Each time you sit there, you feel heavy, drained, and eager to leave. Instead, let the living room remain a space for lightness, joy, and positivity. Serious conversations should take place in a private, quiet corner. That way, when you return to the living room, it still holds clean, uplifting energy. Once you've cleared the invisible blockages in your living room, you're ready to welcome wealth into your home. The secret lies in one small Feng Shui item that, when placed correctly, becomes the guardian of your fortune, something luck simply cannot ignore. The item I want to share today is the wealth jar. It may seem simple, but don't underestimate its symbolic power. Among hundreds of Feng Shui tools, from money, frogs, and sailboats to crystals and paintings, the wealth jar represents passive accumulation, a very unique and refined concept in classical Feng Shui. So why is it so highly regarded? First, the wealth jar is powerful because of its symbolic purpose. Unlike decorative items such as frogs, dragons, or toads that attract wealth through display, the jar quietly preserves and protects it, gathering positive energy without letting it escape. The concept of scattering energy reflects a fundamental principle. Where energy gathers, wealth is born. A sealed jar represents money kept safe, discreet, and stable. Just as people in ancient times stored their riches in hidden, secure places. Secondly, the wealth jar connects deeply with the modern subconscious. When placed in your home, it doesn't stand out as a typical Feng Shui item. It is subtle, compact, and unassuming, yet it powerfully reminds your mind of abundance. Every time you see it, your subconscious registers, I am building, I am abundant. Third, it supports the idea of yin energy, which relates to inner peace, stillness, and long-term stability. Other symbols, like gold coins or money frogs, carry yang energy, bold, fast, and outward. The wealth jar, however, nurtures calm, steady growth, exactly what we need in a restful home environment. Finally, the jar is personalizable. You decide what goes inside. Unlike fixed Feng Shui pieces, this becomes your own spiritual vault. It's not just a tool, it becomes part of your home's living energy. How do you choose the right jar? While it may sound simple, it requires thoughtful consideration. In Feng Shui, an object works best when shape, material, and intention are aligned. Shape comes first. An ideal wealth jar should be round, with a small opening and a wide belly. The round shape symbolizes abundance and flow. The narrow opening keeps wealth secure and hidden, and the wide belly represents ongoing accumulation. If the jar is oddly shaped, has sharp edges, or is dented, it may unintentionally symbolize instability or leaking wealth. Material, ceramic or clear glass, is ideal. Ceramic is tied to the earth element, supporting grounding and wealth stability. Glass represents clarity and purity, like transparent financial flow. Avoid plastic or cheap metals, as they emit artificial energy and disconnect from the space. Color: soft gold, ivory, pale green, and earthy browns work best. They create warmth and blend with most interiors, Avoid dark black, bright red, or busy patterns, which may cause energetic tension or disruption. Size: bigger is not better. No one builds a giant vault for just a few coins. A hand-sized jar, around 10 to 15 centimeters tall and 8 to 10 centimeters wide, is more than sufficient. What truly matters is the energy and intention behind it. The lid, don't forget this. It's more important than it seems. A tight, fitting lid symbolizes the protection and security of your wealth. An open jar, while visually lighter, can imply money flowing out or being unprotected. If your jar is glass, covering it with a velvet cloth adds elegance and softens the energy flow. What to place inside? Start with real metal coins. Metal represents the metal element in Feng Shui, strongly tied to money and resources. Even a few small coins can carry powerful energy, as long as they are real. Choose clean, shiny, round coins to maximize their symbolic impact. The coins don't need to be rare, just well kept and rust-free. They are not meant for spending. They symbolize stored value that quietly multiplies over time. Next, add a few dried cinnamon sticks or nutmeg seeds. These herbs are considered lucky charms, not only in Eastern traditions, but also in many Western spiritual practices. Their warm, soothing aroma helps calm chaotic energy, clear stagnant vibes, and activate prosperity from within. Cinnamon, in particular, is known to stimulate clarity and decisiveness, two qualities essential for effective financial management. You should also include a few small crystals or gemstones, especially citrine, often called the merchant stone. Citrine carries a high frequency associated with mental clarity, wise decision making, and financial luck. Other options include clear quartz, amber, or tiger's eye, as long as they are genuine, small enough to fit in the jar, and visually soothing. Each stone placed inside acts like a seed of abundance, quietly growing beneath layers of accumulated energy. Here's a simple but highly effective tip. Write a positive financial affirmation by hand. Fold it neatly and place it at the bottom of the jar. Examples could be, "I always have enough to live comfortably and to give generously," or "wealth flows to me in healthy and sustainable ways." These statements should always be in the present tense, because in subconscious Feng Shui, what you phrase as if it is already happening gradually becomes reality. Avoid wording like "I wish" or "I hope," as they carry the energy of lack, which does not align with the spirit of accumulation. To personalize the jar even further, you can add a small object symbolizing your personal luck. A pebble picked up during a lucky trip, a coin received as a New Year's gift, or a piece of jewelry you wore when you achieved a financial milestone. As long as the object brings a smile to your face, it strengthens the energetic power of the wealth jar. Important note: do not overcrowd it. A powerful wealth jar is one that has room to breathe. Wealth is not about being overstuffed, it's about being intentional and refined. Every item placed inside should have a reason to be there. And each time you look at the jar, it should evoke a sense of calm, fullness, and peace. That is when the energy of prosperity truly works with you. Once your wealth jar is complete, the most important step is choosing where to place your wealth jar. If positioned incorrectly, it's no different from a decorative vase. But when placed in the right spot and facing the right direction, it becomes a center of energy accumulation, quietly helping you stabilize your finances and grow your wealth over time. According to classical Feng Shui systems like 𝐷𝐸 and flying stars, the southeast area of the home or living room is the wealth sector, a space that governs abundance, accumulation, and material growth. This is why the ideal location for your wealth jar is in the southeast corner of your living room, somewhere with soft lighting, low activity, and visible without being overly exposed. If you're unsure how to determine direction, you can simply use a compass app on your phone. Stand in the middle of your living room and turn slowly until you locate the southeast zone. That is where your wealth jar should go. If, for any reason, that area is not suitable, choose a quiet, lit spot that is away from the main door, windows, or walkways. Strong airflow in those areas can cause wealth energy to leak out, Absolutely avoid placing your jar near the kitchen, bathroom, or under a staircase. These areas are considered chaotic zones, disrupting the stable energy your jar is meant to create. Also, avoid noisy or high traffic areas. Wealth energy, once gathered, needs stillness in order to be nurtured over the long term. Here are a few simple placement ideas: a low bookshelf, a side cabinet near the sofa, an end table against the wall, or a quiet corner behind a decorative screen. As long as the space feels clean, grounded, and not overly exposed, your wealth jar will begin to work its magic. One small secret: do not place the jar too high. In Feng Shui, wealth should accumulate from the ground up. Positioning it around waist level or slightly lower is most effective. Placing it too high is like suspending your treasure vault in midair. It may look impressive, but it's difficult for the energy to settle and grow. Finally, your wealth jar does not need to be blessed or activated through rituals. However, taking just 1 minute each week to gently wipe the outside is a powerful gesture of respect. When you care for the jar with gratitude, the energy within strengthens naturally, not through magic, but through mindful intention, because you are becoming more mindful of your financial flow. Many people ask, do I need to perform a ceremony or pick a special date? The answer is no. The wealth jar is not a sacred relic, nor is it a magical charm. It is a symbol, a subtle reminder that wealth can come when you know how to protect it, value it, and live with a mindset of abundance. Simply seeing the jar every day is enough to plant a positive financial seed in your consciousness. From that seed, Feng Shui begins to bloom, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. We have just explored a secret that may seem small, but it has the power to shift the entire flow of wealth in your home, with nothing more than a simple wealth jar, placed in the right spot, in the right way, with the right intention. But please remember, Feng Shui is not superstition, and it is not a magic trick. Any Feng Shui item, if simply placed and forgotten, is just decoration. But if you choose it with understanding, treat it with gratitude, and align it with a mindset of abundance, the energy it accumulates can ripple through your living space and influence your daily decisions and actions. Your home does not need to be luxurious. As long as it has the right energy, enough love, and a sense of harmony, wealth, health, and happiness will come naturally, without having to be called. Feel free to leave a comment below. I choose abundance. I welcome wealth into my home. Even one small affirmation can open the door to a more positive and abundant life journey. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Inspired by Myles Munroe Feng Shui channel, so you never miss out on practical Feng Shui insights that help you live more harmoniously, confidently, and prosperously every day.